The data for the above example was missing two pieces of data. One employee who had trained 6.5 hours and one who had trained for 12 hours. Use the regression line to estimate the performance of each of these members of staff on the assessment and comment. So here's the work we did on that previous example, and this is the equation of our line of best fit. So for the student who studied 6.5 hours, we would predict 3.761 times 6.5 plus 51.049, and that comes out at 75.4955. I'm just going to call that 75.5. And for the one that studied 12 hours, we'd do 3.761 times 12, add 51.049, and that comes out at about 96.2. Now, 6.5 hours is here. So when we go up and we use this to predict, so remember we're doing it in this direction, we knew this value, and we're trying to predict over here, then what we can see is that this value is nicely within the span of the data. So that is an interpolation. And because our correlation coefficient was quite strong, 0.844, we can say that that's probably a pretty reasonable prediction. However, 12 is out here. And if you go up to the line over here, we are well outside the data. The highest piece of data we have is here, which is 10, and we're going out as far as 12. That's an extrapolation and therefore is unreliable. I mentioned before about the intercept itself. Notice how that is outside the data. So that wouldn't necessarily be a good prediction either. In fact, it wouldn't be a good prediction for somebody who'd done no work whatsoever. And another thing that we could do here is if you project this line on even further, what are you going to get? A situation where somebody who's maybe done 20 hours study gets more than 100%. So we can see that it isn't that good if we extrapolate a long way beyond. I mean, if you go far enough this way, you could get somebody who gets a negative mark. But how would they do negative hours of training? It would make no sense whatsoever. But we can talk about it in the context of this person over here doing absolutely heaps of training. You can't get more than 100%. So interpolation within the data, usually fairly reliable, especially if you've got a good strong correlation coefficient. Extrapolation, unreliable.